TENSEI first started off in 2010 as a project in Chicago. Myself, Chris Kramer, and a guy named Midas Wells would get in the studio and jam on top of beats that we made on the MPC. So we'd be making a drum on the MP and then just picking up any old instrument we could and just playing on top of it, playing on top of it. And I went around the city, I went around the country, I went around the world, hustling up collabs. I'm the guy that put all that shit together. And I'm not working for free anymore. So we'll reissue soon. What's up? Been releasing music since 2010 with labels, and I'm not doing all the free stuff to get more followers and all that. I did the press thing, physical copies for a long time, and I'm not paying people to say I'm cool. So if you check me out, I'm grateful for that, but I'm not gonna pay you for it. I'm not up for this working for free lifestyle that people expect for doing music. This track with Mathian, we had made back in 2018, I want to say. Was introduced to him after working with A. Billy Free and some other people around town. And a guy named Rich Jones said, man, Kramer, you and Mathian got to make something. So we made this one track. Originally he had sang on it, but later on decided just to drop the instrumental called Stone in the Temple. It was pretty fun putting together, and I particularly like the strings. I remember when we made the track with Georgia, it was actually an old track that Midas and I had made back in 2011 called Dr. Buzzards. It was actually one of the candidates for the Plug Research projects, but we held it back because we were like, man, we really want to get a vocal. So one day, I don't remember when, probably after around the time where we did the song with Yao, Adad, and Black Thought, I had a chance to work with Georgia and knocked it out. It was a cool song though. This track, Sparkles, was actually part of A. Billy Free Iluma originally. It was one of the tracks that Midas and I had done. We were starting a project called Hard Times, where we were making tracks everything besides four. Well, this one particularly worked out for Billy, and then next thing you know, Angel comes through the crib and just iced it. Well, later on, we decided to release the instrumental. Actually, I decided to release the instrumental, but that's this track. Enjoy. This track I knew, I'd actually wrote it once when I was at the ocean, hanging out. Went back home, when I found a beat, knocked it out in like 20 minutes. Just felt organic, and had fun doing the overdubs with the vocal jazz parts, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. I was talking about seeing and finding a soulmate. Boba Tea is a track that actually I had come up with after I made Rooted, Tree of Life. Buddy in Africa sent me a beat, and so I just went in on it and I kind of rewrote the verse, and I used some of the words from the chorus of Rooted, and I kind of put it together as like an alternate version, expression of gratitude. And I was actually thinking about taking it down and putting it back up without the guitar, because I think it sounds better. Originally, Tree of Life was a suite. It was released by a label called Duff Press. But the problem is they never sent a proper contract, so I had to cease and desist them. And so I re-released it as a project called Trees. And then this track called Branches in particular was really fun, because after I put the song together on my own, I reached out to some jazz musicians who laced it up. And so I did an edit here, which is instrumental, called Branches. Please enjoy. Peace, I'm Chris Kramer, properly known as Christopher Kramer. Been part of some really cool projects in the past with music, TENSEI, Herman Puma. Had a lot of cool collabs and experiments with music, and now I'm focusing on using my voice more often, and yeah, in English and Japanese. Looking forward. This song, All About Tomorrow, happened pretty serendipitously. A guy from Chicago named Joe Tice sent me a track, some stems, after the J.I.V. Grammy win thing. And then I was playing, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna freestyle. And it just so happened I banged it out in the first take. No auto-tune or anything like that. And I layered it up with more freestyles. It was pretty fun. This track, Sick Father, was a really personal one for me. But the way that it started out was, I had a beat, like a TENSEI beat, and I opened up the session and kind of rearranged it. and this guy in Canada, Mike Hargreaves, played some killer guitar for me. Then I played some solos at the end, but the lyrics were just about growing up with a sick veteran father and the hardship that was related to that. Tensei started out in 2010. We did a lot of songs over the years and did a lot of reissues going up. I don't have anything against any particular DSP, but I just need to reissue it on our own so that we can have more control over everything. And that's what we're in the process of doing. In the meantime, check out the website. You'll see the history in the press. Thanks. So, for everyone who's wondering what happened to the Tensei catalog online, I'll explain real briefly. So, we released music with all these different labels over the years, and a lot of those labels, the distribution ended up becoming picked up by majors. And after a certain point in time, it was very difficult to really get any traction. So I just decided to look at the contracts, realize that the period's up, and I cease and desisted every single song on Tensei. I plan to re-release it though. Sparkles was a fun track. It's actually originated in 2012 during a session by Tensei and Campbell, and later on we collaborated with some cool artists and we ended up putting something different together. The original idea was to challenge ourselves to make music that's not in four, and it turned out pretty good. Yeah.